Okay, so starting a new journey here at 122. We're calling it Being Real. And really started from talking to people, listening to God and talking to people, which everything here starts with. Crazy how that happens. But anyway, there was a need for getting together and having those real discussions, the challenges that I put out there here, to be real with people and not talk about just politics or anything else, pretty much. So took that to kind of another level when I started talking to people and realized that there was a need to have those kind of discussions in a group setting where we can learn from each other. We can talk about what it is to grow, what our struggles were, what didn't work for us, what did, and really apply it. That's the key, and what we miss so often is putting it into action. You could have the best understanding of a subject matter. If you don't apply it, if you don't do it, it means nothing. It's the whole basis of 122. Don't just read the word, do what it says. Do it. So that's easier said than done. And the being real part of it is about having those discussions, hoping that maybe this concept spreads, the whole idea, because everybody that I've talked to has really expressed a need for it. Maybe they wouldn't feel comfortable in a group setting or going to someone else's building, whatever the case may be. So we're going to have stuff here that comes out of the group, and I'm going to show you basically the intro to the whole concept at the first day of doing this, which was yesterday, June 1st, 2023. And just kind of let that speak for itself. And I will say, I was pretty much winging it. I had a plan, and I kind of threw it out the window and just kind of prayed about it. And what comes of this is just me listening. And I'll let you take a look at it. I want you to see what it is from the intro side of it. I'm not going to show any of the discussion. So there are people that aren't going to be able to attend in the area or anywhere. Who knows where you're at watching this. So what we're going to do is we're going to take what we learned from that group and the real discussions that we're having. And again, you'll see this group is driven by the people in attendance. Their questions, their concerns, stuff they struggle with, which I'm sure is some of the same struggles maybe you have. So we're going to take that information that we get in the discussions that we have, and we'll put it into a video to summarize it each week based on what was discussed there, and just take that kind of the highlights or the things that were brought up. Respecting people's privacy, of course, because this group isn't going to work well if people don't speak as freely as they would normally. So we're not going to put any of the group online or any of that stuff. We will take what we learned from that group each week and put it out here for you to hopefully learn from, or at least give you some different insight that maybe you didn't have directly from the discussions that we have at that group. So here's the video to show you the intro of it and kind of explain some of it, and also kind of shows 122 and a little bit more about that. But it's just, again, this is just the concept. Maybe you can do something like this locally yourself, maybe in your own home. Who knows? But again, this is being real. Check it out. See what you think. So I've had 4 people text me, 5 people text me just in the last 5 minutes that they're not going to do. That's okay. No big deal. If there was one person here, it'd be enough. Bob was here, so I was like, I'm good. All right, so here's the deal. This is going to be laid back, but also intense at the same time. She's laughing because she knows me very well. No, she's laughing. So clear up some things right off the bat. This is not a Perry First Baptist Church thing. This is a 122 thing. I'll explain what that means. Okay? We're doing it here. I will just say that this was this is the best approach that I could find to do this. Leave it that way, okay? One of the other things that I want to tell you is I've invited 7 different people that are either not churched or go to a different church that wouldn't come if it was a Perry First Baptist Church thing. And we don't want to restrict, for rightfully so in some instances, okay? The whole 122 concept is non-denominational, okay? It's about following Christ. And I don't think God cares what the sign says out there, as long as you're following, okay? So I want to be clear that that's what this is. This is, we'll be talking about religion and some other stuff like that, but this to be open to many has to be independent, okay? And 122 started from, some of you will remember this, about a year ago, almost a year to the day, I spoke and I did the whole t-shirt thing. That was the foundation for this. And the people here know all about that, so I don't have to go into more detail. I don't think everybody was here for that. Well, Bob wasn't here for that. I don't think he knows. But anyway, that's what started the whole concept. Now, initially, I thought it was going to be a t-shirt initially. God has different plans. So that's certainly part of it, but I actually put the t-shirt stuff on hold to do another side of it, which happened exactly a year to the day of me going through the MRI brain surgery and having that walk in the driveway, which I spoke about a year ago. But that actually happened on April 13th. April 13th was the day this year that I went, nope, I'm doing it, and started the YouTube channel and the website and said, okay, I get it. And there were about 3 bricks in the face that day, 2 of them for my kids, that told me that I need to do something. This is what happens. Those of you who didn't know me know that I am very planned, very structured, and this isn't any of that. And here's what I mean by this. And I'll give you some examples. So when I started this, I started to write up a plan. And it quickly changed because I was told to go a place. And I went that place. And I met somebody. And I went to a different place. And I did an interview with Helen. That was just God saying, go do an interview with Helen. I'm not making it up. That's really what happened. So I went and did an interview with Helen. And then the next week, I was at camp, which I wasn't supposed to be at camp, but I went to see Randy's ordination last minute thing. Walking out, I see Dawn cresting the hill. I go up to Dawn to talk to her about Sam. Walk up to her and I'm talking to her about that. And she goes, I've been meaning to talk to you. It's been on my heart that I need to do something. I need to speak up and say something. I want my kids to know how I feel about Christ. And I looked at her and I went, you don't know this, but I just started doing that. Okay, how about Wednesday? So each of these things that have happened hasn't been by me. And it's a bit uncomfortable. Today's a bit uncomfortable for me. But I do believe that I'm called to do it. It's just not comfortable. I'm used to being planned. Part of this group, and there's a reason my name's not associated with it on anything. It's vague on purpose. It ain't about me. It's actually about us. And you'll see as we get into this. We're going to determine what topics we talk about the following week. We're going to do some homework and things like that, preparing for that so we have better discussions the following week. We'll be passing this around one time for you to write down topics of interest for you, and then we'll pass it around again for you to check which topic that you're most interested in from the list. So this is driven by you. I have done this on a small scale, and it has worked out really well. This is not a typical Bible study. It's not it's not a typical Sunday school. It is pretty much trying to talk about those things that maybe you haven't talked about in those places. Okay? Challenging ourselves. Because part of what this is a challenge to me. As I am stepping out and doing these things, it's making me look inward. And my hope is that that same thing happens for everybody here. And I think we need that right now. I've talked to a lot of people, about 10 or 11 of them aren't here today, that have that same kind of feeling. They feel they need to move and go from there. So, any questions about that part of it? And are you hearing me okay? Sorry, everybody hearing me okay? I can use, but I'm trying to project a little bit better. We can certainly go audio. That's one of the reasons we're in this room. I can leverage, I know the tech guy, so we can leverage some stuff if we need to. All right, so any questions? Okay. Now what I have here on the table is, this is my library that I don't look at anymore. So I brought it in for you to, if you are interested in any of that stuff, take it home. The way that I actually got into growing more, and I'll ask that question of everybody as we get into this, but one of the ways that I got into growing more was reading some of these books. Now that I've read these books, I'm more focused on just learning from the Bible. Okay, but for me, that was my path in. I grew up Catholic. You don't touch the Bible. It stays over there on the table. Okay? Right, Bill? Bill grew up Catholic too. So that was my way. Anyway, take a look at those if there's anything that interests you. Some really good ones there. All yours. Over here, I have 7 different Bibles. 3 of them I owned before 3 days ago. The other 4 I bought. So there's a NLT, and what I did is I looked at the highest ranked, not the most popular, the highest ranked by biblical scholars and things like that. Okay? So, and gave us different translations, different things like that. So NLT, New Living Translation, is one of the best, they call it easy versions of it. I don't think we have anybody here that would require that, but we might. So there's that one. Case for Christ, NIV, this is the one that I learned most of what I learned about. Catholic Bible, it's got my whole name, including my confirmation name on it. Bill and I both have the same middle and confirmation name. Crazy, huh? This is a MacArthur study Bible. Sorry.
Figure it out.
You have to go. No, it's on the cover. It's on the cover. My wife got me this one.
We can judge the book by the cover.
That's true. This is MacArthur. It's a New King James Version. ESV, which is supposedly the new best study Bible out there. This is ranked #1 in many places. You and I had that discussion too. So here's the ESV one. And then this is a cultural background study Bible. And I have this quote to help me prepare, but this is, you know what this is. You can explain it probably better than I can. But it's basically context-based stuff. It tells you about the history back in the day. Like it tells you, you open to it, and this is considered an advanced one. It's the same Bible, but all the other stuff is a little bit more. But I opened it up the other day. It was explaining homosexuality back then, and what it was, and how it came to be at that time. So it puts you at that time. And there's a lot of good stuff in here for that. But this is considered a long day. So
Scott, is this for us to take notes?
that's for you to take notes.
Okay, so what is the name of that one? That one?
This one, well, you can come up here and look at these later. I just wanted to give you a heads up on them. The one at the end here is called Cultural Background Study Bible. Yep. And I can send you links to those. Actually, I probably put links to those out there. But I wanted to give you the ability, or anybody that comes, the ability to kind of touch, feel, and see them. Figure out what works best for them. Because we're going to have some people, hopefully, here that are looking to grow. And maybe they don't have one. Or maybe you have one and you want something else. So that's what these resources are for. All right. All right. So, 122 is, who's been on 122? Anybody? Okay. So this is 122.us, which is a website. So I started with just throwing some videos out there. Videos were meant to challenge people. We're going to do one today, which wasn't planned. I I was telling Pastor about this. I started lining out what I wanted to talk about, and one of the other people that I was having a conversation with said, I could really see you playing that faith and religion one, and man, some really good conversation will probably come from that. And I went, okay, this is like 5 days ago. So today I watched it, and it was the exact same content that I had prepared on PowerPoint. So I went, okay, I guess I'm just going to play it. The other reason I'm going to do that is so you can kind of see what 122 is and what the plan is. With this group, and I don't know how this is all going to work because it's not my plan, but as we bring up topics here, I want to put it out there for people that couldn't be here. Like 4 or 5 people said they couldn't come tonight, and I'm like, well, that's the reason that we want to at least have the topic, not necessarily the people on video. We're not doing that. We want to have some open conversations. But the concepts that come up will be out there for people to review when they can. So one is driving the other. I don't know which one. Today, 122 is driving this discussion. Next week, it might be this discussion driving 122. I don't know. I'm just waiting. Okay? All right. So, on the 122.us site, I started making a YouTube channel, which I never thought I would ever do. By the way, I also never thought I would ever be in front of a camera. Always liked being behind the camera. Never a big fan of being in front of it. Doing a lot of things that I never thought I'd do. So I started the YouTube channel, and then I went, okay, now I can build the website. On this website, we'll go through this really quick, and this is just 122.us. The word 122.us, and I have it here. There's actually a QR code here. If you use your phone, it'll take you right to the website. Kind of a neat little thing. But what it has is it has 122 videos, secret resources, which, let me find this. Which is actually driven, this part is driven by people that I've talked to that have said, hey, I use this thing, and it helped me. Right Now Media is here. We have Right Now Media with 122 along with Perry First Baptist Church. They're allowing anybody to set up Right Now Media on their phone. So I talked to them, I said, hey, I have this ministry that I'm trying to do. Like, oh, just use it through the church. Because they actually don't, because I'm not a 501(c), they can't work with me directly. But they're like, they don't care. And I said, okay, well, what happens if there are 1,000 people on it in 4 weeks? Yeah, it's a good problem to have. Okay, so pretty cool. Right Now Media is a really cool resource. Angel Studios, I did not know The Chosen is on Angel Studios. It's free. So again, this is not just a YouTube channel. This is not just, the whole point of 122.us is to put all the resources that we can, I say we, this is not just me, we can out there to help people to find what they're looking for, research, all that kind of stuff, and put faith into action, which is really the foundation of everything that 122 is. So PureFlix, YouVersion Bible, Bible, it gives you the different websites that you can use and why and how. There's Genesis history. If you want to go, there's a whole thing about Genesis and history and the science of it and all that kind of stuff. So there's a bunch of different resources here that people don't know about. I know, because Bible for Normal People is like a higher level thing. Some of them are channels. Kirk Cameron has a thing on TBN, which is really good. Redeemed Zoomer. Some of this is YouTube stuff. Truth Unite. So Daily Grace. Daily Grace Company came from Dawn, helped her. And actually, she knows the CEO of that company. But that's from, so again, this is whoever says, oh, this helped me, put it on here. Try it. Okay? So, okay. So that's what this is. Faith Walk interview, some of you know about this. I mentioned a few of those earlier. We have currently 4. Yeah. Now, the Faith Walk interviews are long, but I break them into chapters. And this explains how, like, if you just go to YouTube, you don't have that context. If you go to this website, it explains it to you. So you can break it up amongst different parts. Okay, so those are the current. I have a couple other people in the works, but they're not going to do it until July. But that's what we're going to do with baseball activities. Interestingly enough, those are the most hit things. Some people are like, oh, who's going to watch those? Most popular things, the baseball activities. Okay, so right now, media. If you go to this page will tell you how to set it up, and it'll show you some of the intros for it. Okay? Very FBC. But
Is that what we already set up on?
you probably, from here, yes. This is just for anyone. I set up the entire men's group on this.
Yeah, I got that one.
2 weeks ago, yes. 3 weeks ago. And then this is kind of why I did this video. I did a video to show you how to do it on your phone. Because we might be technologically challenged. So that's there. And then this shows you intros and different things that yeah, look at James is really good. So I use right now media for my Sunday school class. So again, 122 is about all the different resources that you can go find more information on your journey. That's really what the whole point is. I have science and God and religious stuff here too. Religious stuff is videos on different religions and things like that. Also different denominations. So things that I find that are interesting or may have come up because somebody talked about it or said, hey, here's the thing that I found. There's no, like, we're not trying to skew you to a certain way. We just want to put the information on there. There's what's the name of it? There's a Catholic that's called, what is he called? In the Habit or something, which is a pun on the habit that you push. But good information. You know? So, again, I'm nomination. All right. Enough of that. So what I want to do today, what I want to start with, is all right. So you might not have seen these. This is some I'll do that's just in front of the camera. And what I'll do is I'll play this and I'll pause it, and we'll talk about what was said. Sound good? Then we're gonna have some discussion. Okay.